London to North London, and Damesh Eza, I should say, a wanted man by North London.
Certainly is. We brought you the news earlier on this week that Arsenal were exploring the conditions of a deal potentially for Gyökeres Eze. They continue to explore those conditions. He is now emerging, we think, as a big target for Arsenal in this transfer window, and we think that's independent of any of their other potential recruitment in the forward areas, be it a striker or a winger or a number 10. Now, I'm also told today that Gyökeres Eze would be open to a move to Arsenal. He's an ambitious footballer. He wants to play Champions League football. He's obviously an England international as well. We do know that Tottenham Hotspur have also been interested in Eze during this transfer window, but we think now that they are focusing on other targets for now.
Right.
And so Arsenal, I think, will look at Eze and think, do you know what, he could be perfect for the way we want to play.
Not cheap.
Of course he's not, and it's good that you mentioned that because it is a release clause situation we've got here. So it's £60 million, we think, which could rise to £68 million. Now, it's easy for a club just to say, yes, we'll meet that release clause. And the selling club, in inverted commas, can't do much about that. But sometimes, even with a release clause, you can have a situation where a club wants to negotiate on that release clause, in which case, in this case, if Arsenal were to do that, they would have to approach Crystal Palace and say, I know the release clause is this much, but we would like to pay this much and this is how we'd like to pay it. And that's not necessarily to pay less than the release clause, because the 16 plus 8 is something that would almost be guaranteed to Crystal Palace.
Right.
Whereas if Arsenal went in and said, actually, we'd be willing to pay 70 to 75 for argument's sake, and people would say, why would you want to pay more than the release clause? It could be in exchange for favourable payment terms. So it could be the case that the release clause, you need to pay in 3 instalments, for example. But if Arsenal say to Crystal Palace, well, actually, we want to pay you a bit more, but we'll do it in 4 instalments, because we know that everyone is looking at their financial fair play and their profit and sustainability rules, and they are done on a 3-year rolling basis. So, look, Arsenal might say, yes, here is the release clause money, we're willing to pay it. Let's discuss this with Gyökeres Eze and sort out the personal terms. We're quite a long way from that, admittedly, but it's clear that Gyökeres Eze is definitely a player of interest for Arsenal.
So many details to iron out before the deal actually goes on, isn't it? OK, we mentioned Chelsea's business just a moment ago, but one of their forwards is actually interesting Arsenal, Mark.
Arsenal have become strong contenders to sign Crystal Palace star Gyökeres Eze this summer, with the club holding internal talks and expressing serious interest. Mikel Arteta is reportedly a fan of the 25-year-old, who had an excellent season and scored the winning goal in the FA Cup final. Eze's flair, versatility, and ability to operate both as a number 10 and wide attacker make him a perfect fit for Arteta's system, especially as Arsenal look to add more creativity and unpredictability to their attacking setup. The Gunners are seen as front-runners, especially with Tottenham reportedly stepping back from the chase. Despite their interest, Arsenal face a financial hurdle. Crystal Palace have made it clear they will only allow Eze to leave if his full release clause, believed to be around £67.5 million, is met. There's no room for negotiation or a discount, and Palace are expected to demand a structured payment plan if the clause is triggered. Arsenal, while financially stable, are also pursuing a striker and potentially a midfielder, which means they may need to prioritise how they allocate funds. Still, Eze's talent and Premier League experience could justify the investment if Arteta sees him as a transformative signing. So far, no formal bid has been submitted, and talks have remained at the internal planning stage. With pre-season approaching and transfer competition heating up, timing will be critical. If Arsenal move swiftly and show a willingness to meet Palace's terms, they're in a strong position to land Eze. But delays could open the door for other suitors, including a possible Spurs re-entry or interest from abroad. For now, Arsenal lead the race, but the next few weeks will determine whether they turn interest into action.